everyone. Today is my first nursing school update. This video is going to be the first on a new YouTube channel that I hope will be there to support moms during ventures that may seem daunting or may seem just kind of out of bounds, especially if you are over the age of 40, and really trying to work on health at the same time and taking on something new and challenging. Today will be kind of a mishmash of things that I've been doing. It's going to be coming out again in my newsletter, and I have a couple of blog posts on it already as well. But the whole goal is to make this information more accessible and applicable to everyone who is facing a new challenge, and maybe even doing that while you are a busy, active mom and working on your own health at the same time. So I'm going to start out with things that I've noticed about myself that may also be a part of your world right now that I need to work on habit-wise, and strategies that I'm using to work on those things. So one of the big things that I've noticed since starting school is my reliance on habits that I really had in place during times when things were not as stressful, that they are really helping me now, but maybe those habits need to be tweaked because I don't have the time accessibility that I had before. So one of the big things that I've been working on right now is really paying attention more to things that are affecting my blood sugar stability. And those are things like light exposure, which I posted about yesterday, as well as, and light exposure being like early morning bright light exposure, as well as then the evening light. And then also tuning into stressors that I may not perceive to be stressors in my world that are also impacting my blood sugar. So right now, it's not really a possibility for me to do a continuous glucose monitor to see how those things are impacting me because of just the price point of it. But if you have that ability, then there are tools like that that can help you monitor how different stressors are impacting your blood sugar throughout the day. Coming up, maybe not this week, but next week, there will be a post coming out about how these different stressors, whether it's a child who is not wanting to go to bed and is causing an escalation in cortisol late in the evening, or it's something where, man, you're having nagging back pain, and how that is increasing a hidden stressor in your system, which is impacting your blood glucose, and that's raising that. And so that can be very stressful overall. And then that also causes more stress in your system, which impacts your ability to regulate stress hormones throughout the day. So tactics that I've noticed that have definitely slacked off during this time of me going back to school is light exposure. So first thing in the morning, I'm making it a really big point. Of course, now with school starting when it's dark, that it's harder for me to get in the light, but making it a point in between on breaks during class to get outside, no matter how cold it is, and to take off my glasses if I'm wearing glasses. Yes, definitely. If you have a red infrared sauna, definitely get out there in the sauna for sure. That's not, again, a tool that I have right now that's available to me, but making sure that if you are getting that morning light exposure, and there's so many people that are speaking to this, from Andrew Huberman to many different bloggers, but making sure that if you're wearing glasses, contacts are not an issue. Contacts actually focus the light into the eye. But if you're wearing glasses and if they have any kind of blue blocker on them, that you remove them, and not obviously staring directly at the sun, but you take off the glasses so you get that light into the eye, and so then that affects the brain, and then that circadian rhythm setting, like I said yesterday in my post, is so important to stimulating pregnenolone production. It decreases stress hormones. It helps to produce more melatonin late in the evening, so it causes a dopamine spike in the morning. These things are so important to our overall stress response throughout the day. So that's something that I am, even if it's an inconvenience or appears to be an inconvenience, that I am making sure that I'm putting that habit back in place. When I wasn't in school and I was coaching more often, I would kind of build my schedule around my ability to get out and get light exposure, or my workouts were early or later so that I could get into the sun. So things that I've noticed since being more that I first attributed to sitting, but now I realize is definitely the light exposure, because all other variables are consistent, is my body has felt more sore. Like overall recovery has decreased. I I feel less recovered. There's more stiffness or soreness in my tissues. And so that definitely can be impacted by light exposure. So pretty crazy, really important to get out there and get in the sun. So that's the one thing that I'm really working on. Sorry, I'm making broth and I'm making sure it's not going to boil. The other thing is, yes, definitely. Okay, so that's a good point. Thank you so much for bringing that up. If you don't have a sauna, when you pay attention to both light, early morning light, as well as nighttime. So making sure that at night when the sun is setting, that you also have exposure to those lower levels of wavelength light. Those are really important also for kind of establishing that circadian rhythm within the brain, and that helps to establish a better rhythm, hormonal rhythm for getting into a deeper sleep at night. Things that we just overlook that are very, very powerful. Other things that I'm noticing for sure are definitely my ability to access food at key times throughout the day or eating on a schedule. So because class starts really early in the morning and it starts, I'm in the classroom by 7:15, I'm out the door by 6:30, then my mealtime needs to start earlier. And because I am not willing to go through the morning snacking, which I see a lot of classmates doing, which I know for sure is because we missed breakfast, maybe started the day with just coffee, or we're, obviously a lot of them are working late, coming in and being really tired first thing and not starting actual food intake, which for a lot of them, a lot of my classmates looks like granola bar or, just chips or something like that. Really starting the day early with that really strong bolus of protein first thing in the morning, as well as fiber. But then, again, I don't want to be snacking throughout the morning. So then that throws off lunch, which then pushes dinner back, which then affects my digestion and depth of sleep at night. So meal timing has been a little bit of a dabble in terms of how to do that and how to make sure that that is staying on track. So when we look at meal timing, you want to think about more if you don't have key times throughout the day to when you're going to be consuming your nutrition. Like for me, it was more, I'll eat by 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and then I'm going to have lunch at 12, and then I'm going to have dinner 4:30 or 5. Those have all been adjusted, which in motherhood, especially if you are taking kids to practices or you have other things going on throughout the day, you're never really on point with your nutrition. It's sometimes flexes here and there. But for the schooling, it's a little bit different. So I have made sure to have my meals planned ahead so that when I get home from class, which is between 12:30 and 1, that I have something right on hand. Now, it makes a really big difference what you're consuming, because you want to think about how your ability to digest it, and is it too much because you're really hungry, because you've gone a really long time between breakfast and lunch, and then is that going to impact dinner and push dinner back too late? These things may seem like it's a lot more than is necessary to think of, but thinking about those key strategies in terms of light exposure, nutrition timing, that impacts sleep, which affects literally everything: recovery, learning, focus, which is really important, especially going to school and being a mom and being able to task switch from one thing to the next. So what I've been doing nutrition-wise is breakfast, I have a really hearty smoothie where I add, to the kale that I pull from the garden, I'll add cauliflower rice, blueberries, tart cherries, ground flaxseed, a little bit of psyllium husk, because we'll talk about the other thing when it comes to digestion. And then lupin flour also, and that helps with adding more fiber, and then whey protein powder. So these things are very, very important, because you really want not just calories in the morning, but you really want a lot of nutrients. And those nutrients, we talk about minerals, that's one of my key focuses as a practitioner, is we want a good bolus of minerals first thing in the morning, because minerals run the show in terms of your ability to think, to recover, to stay focused, to stay energized. And so those are really important things. So that's my smoothie in the morning. And then I've been bringing a couple of hard-boiled eggs. so that if I am really hungry, if I've had a really big workout before class, and then my metabolism is really revved up, or for some reason I am hungrier, that I'm not like driving home for 30 minutes and then I come in the house and I'm starving and I have a snack in addition to lunch. That throws me off. So I'll have a couple of hard-boiled eggs on the way home with some salt on them, just to kind of break that if I am really hungry. Just a little snack. And it also boosts protein. And then, of course, there's so much choline in the egg yolks, vitamin E. All of those things are really important, go into building more cellular energy. So the hard-boiled eggs. Then when I get home, I usually have broccoli leaves are still growing in the garden, and then also having kale and Brussels sprout leaves, everything out there. So I will go ahead and today make those are really hearty leaves, and we've talked about that. The fibers in the leaves and the nutrients in those leaves are really great. If you don't have the accessibility to a garden and Brussels sprout leaves and broccoli leaves and all that, totally fine. You can get the big bag of kale, and then I typically rub them with just lemon juice, a squeeze of lemon on them, some Redmond's real salt, some olive oil, and they hold up really well through classes. Clinicals are on Thursday and then Fridays off, so I kind of restart my food prep. But I'll make a bunch of that today, and so that I can have a scoop of that. I've been doing lentils or black beans. Remember nature's binder. If we think about binder, I got to move this broth. Let me do that. We think about nature's binder is fiber, and we can spend a lot of money on charcoal binders and things like that, but nature's binder is fiber, and beans are a great way to do that. So I've been making those in an Instant Pot today. I'll do lentils, and then I like to add ginger to them. So I'll have a scoop of the greens, a scoop of the lentils, and then typically whatever protein that we have left over, or I'll do a can of sardines, or I will do a can of wild-caught salmon. Easy. Like the whole goal, like that I talk about all the time, is it has to be accessible and easy. And another comment, coffee depletes our body of minerals. Yes. So coffee does, depending, that's a really big depending. It depends on the individual and how you are repleting. So if you are, let's say a scenario, if you are a very stressed out, you're burning the candle at both ends, your adrenals are stressed because you're not repleting your body of nutrients. You are not, when you are hydrating, you're not adding minerals to your water, whether those trace elements, mineral drops, or you're adding some sort of like coconut water and sea salt, or you're doing an element, something like that, then yes, that excretion, that additional diuretic effect that coffee can have on us can be depleting of minerals. But in a lot of us, like I have coffee, but it's not impacting me in that way. There is a time in my life, like after I first had the kids and I had 2 infants and 2 4-year-olds, that would have been more depleting. So, yes, a good substitute for coffee. I actually use, that's another point. So it's another point that I found. Let me kind of circle back to that. So, and then after I have that nutrition, sorry, I branched, but after I have that good bit of nutrition, then a couple of weeks ago, I posted, actually it was in my newsletter, the smoothie that I make for myself, or the mineral drink that I make for myself with yerba mate. So I like using yerba mate after lunch, which helps to, it's got a bit of caffeine in it. It's got an ergonomic effect to it. Ergogenic effect to it. So it helps with the metabolism. It really helps my focus in the afternoon after being in a class for 4 hours, which our topics are not super complex in Nursing 111, but it's just a lot of information that you have to really be mentally on for. And then I like to review it all in the afternoon before the kids come home. So it's like, you got to go immediately from turned off to turn back on. And I like that yerba mate. So I use, I get it at Whole Foods, so you can get it on Thrive Market. I've even seen it on Amazon. Just these little tea bags of yerba mate, and I'll make that the night before. So I have it here for this afternoon. It's just steeped in here with the tea bag, and then I'll add to it my greens powder. I use glutamine. I use creatine. I have also an IgG, so a colostrum powder that I use, or an immunoglobulin, sorry. And then I add a little bit of protein to that, a little bit of collagen as well. And then sun fiber, so for an additional fiber supplement, just because it's really good to support the microbiome. So I'll have that in the afternoon, and then dinner is early for me because that helps improve my depth of sleep at night, and I feel much better and better recovered than having a dinner at around 6. And like most moms, the afternoons can be really, really busy, so it's better sometimes if we eat a little earlier, but that's a whole nother topic. So we're circling back to coffee, and then I'll give you a quick update and we'll wrap it up. But so caffeine, I noticed that for sure caffeine is affecting me differently during this time. Like I said earlier, stressors feel different now. It feels like it's less stressful than when I was really, really busy coaching, because I'm going to a class, I'm sitting there, I'm learning, but I'm anxious about my ability to learn and retain, and how am I going to do on this test on Friday? All of those things are somewhat stressful to me in a different way. So you're welcome. So the thing that I'm noticing is that my stress response is different when it comes to adding any type of caffeine. So what I'm doing coffee-wise is I will do a very small amount of an organic coffee, which there's lots of benefits to using organic over conventional coffee. And one thing being just molds in the coffee, it's better to have an organic brand of coffee. We could speak to organic foods on another topic, but today we'll just talk about the coffee. So I use a small amount of caffeinated coffee. And when I say small amount, it's usually like 8 cups of water, which I don't have 8 cups of coffee, but 8 cups of water to about 2 tablespoons of ground coffee. And then I add Dandy Blend to it to make it more coffee-like. So, because for me, I just need that one little bit of caffeine that kind of takes my dopamine spike from my workout and carries it through the morning. So I stay well focused throughout class. So, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. There's a yerba powder, so you can make it in the coffee pot. I will look that up. That is so cool. But I add Dandy Blend to it. So it's a blend of chicory fiber and dandelion root. Of course, it's similar to having dandelion in the garden, but a little bit more concentrated. And it's got this really rich coffee-like flavor. But again, it's another way to support the liver, to support detoxification. And those are all things that contribute to your overall ability to basically do life. So that's what I'm doing there. And there's no caffeine in the Dandy Blend. So that gives me just a little boost in the morning, and then I have a little bit in the afternoon. And mushroom coffees are wonderful, but again, for me right now, I'm looking at sustainability, and with not coaching regularly and just, working part-time at the hospital, I'm thinking about sustainability and what's going to work budget-wise. And so I love mushroom coffees too, and they will circle back into my world. But in order to make this accessible for everyone, just think about strategies that you can utilize that will be sustainable, because then you're looking at it as really building a long-term habit instead of just kind of a temporary, let me see how it goes, and then, oh, now I'm stressed because I got to buy this every month kind of a thing. If the mushroom coffee works for you and it's accessible all the time, then awesome, keep going with it. The chicory dandelion powder, you can, I did not know that oh yes, chicory, and cook it into soups for sure. But the Dandy Blend, you can just get on Amazon. You can get on Thrive Market as well, but Amazon is a good place. Probably Swanson Vitamins too. So quick update, and then I'm going to wrap it up because I do need to get going on everything. I've got, right now, my business is basically referral only. If I know you, or we have an established relationship and you need testing, or you refer someone directly to me, that's what I'm doing. So I'm staying busy on that end. And we're doing HTM, still doing hair tissue mineral analysis, as well as every once in a while running a gut test or some more advanced testing, and doing a little bit of lifestyle coaching. Thank you, Ticino. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but that's really cool. I will look that up as a yerba. So it goes in the coffee pot, yerba mate. Okay. So, yes, so that's coaching wise. And then still now this YouTube channel is going to start because I really want to help to reach moms who are unsure of starting something new at this season of life. And then how to maintain health. How do I maintain my fitness? So I have some new workouts coming out this week as well. And then blogging. So I've picked up blogging a little bit more. So you can find those on my Amy Slater coaching. And it's kind of fun because it's kind of how this brand started. When I first started, it was, let me tell you about having 2 sets of twins, and here's the things that I'm trying to figure out how to do. And that actually reached a lot of people, and that was really helpful. And so I thought this is another opportunity to do that. And then my newsletter, of course, that you'll get every other week, which will have not only discount codes, but also some little tips and tricks lifestyle-wise. So I'm in this is actually going to be coming up on week 4 of classes. And so far, I love it. Nursing I'm actually surprised how much I love it. Coming from more of a functional medicine mindset, I was nervous about going into a conventionally trained program. But guess what? Nursing basically is functional medicine. It's in its roots. And when we learn about how everything started, it's really, really cool to understand that nursing started from the aspect of trying to improve the health of the individual within their environment and trying to educate people on health and alternative approaches. And the direction that nursing is going is more towards prevention and improving an individual's ability to care for themselves, learning preventative practices, doing more self-care. And so I think it's amazing. And it's cool and it's exciting, and I hope I see it in my lifetime where there is more autonomy given to nurses and you can provide all these education and you can bring essential oils into the hospital, or you can provide alternatives to treatment, and you can use exercise, you can use all these different things, because that would be so cool. And again, those of you who are watching or have been nurses for many, many years and say, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just, I'm only in week 4 of nursing school. And to me, it's really cool. And I'm excited about that. And I'm excited to learn all the different medical technologies that are out there. And right now it's really, really interesting. And I like it. And I like learning. And with the kids, it's been good. It's been, watch mommy do something really hard kind of a thing that a lot of people told me it would be. And it is. And it's been good so far. So I'm really grateful for that. So our first test is this upcoming week. So on Friday, if you have any extra time, say a little prayer that I remember all these things that I'm learning and that I actually do well with these nursing style questions, which are totally bizarre in how they're worded. But yay. So that's all I've got. I know this was kind of all over the place. I'll get more structured as I go along and figure out how to deliver this information to you. But I think it's really important to understand that you can maintain your health when you do something hard. It just takes really strong intention. And yeah, it takes discipline and dedication. But again, like I've talked about all along, if you make it a part of your world that these habits are embedded, whether that's workouts or it's light exposure or it's nutrition and staying on point and recognizing when you're going askew and kind of reining yourself back in, it makes it so much easier. So hopefully that messaging will stay clear through all 2 years, and I will be able to consistently deliver that to you. So if you're doing something hard right now and uncertain of your ability to do it, keep going, because you can totally do it. And my quote for the week on our whiteboard is, successful people are not gifted, they just work hard and succeed on purpose. And that's G.K. Nielsen. So I hope that message is clear to you, and you keep trying and keep going with your efforts. And if you have any suggestions or want to hear anything different, then please send me a message or drop a comment. Actually would be better below. So awesome. Great. What are you studying for? Let me see. I got a message that somebody is studying their brains out at middle age. Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, have a good rest of the day, and we'll be seeing you this week. There's a new U.S. life insurance. Awesome. My husband's in insurance. Keep studying. That is very complex stuff. I've got a new post with US Wellness Meats coming out on Wednesday, and that's our nutrition, how to pack healthy lunches for busy, active moms, adults. We can focus on those things and make it accessible. So, oh, and health insurance. Great. Yes, we need that. Yeah, awesome. Okay. All right, you guys have a good day. Bye.